In the age of cable and streaming, it's hard to fathom just how big network television shows used to be. With only a handful of options, millions upon millions would watch hit shows like MASH. Running on CBS for 11 seasons, the show turned its cast into household names, including Toledo's Jamie Farr. Over 106 million people tuned in for the season finale in February of 1983. Our stroll down memory lane continues as Mark Coons and Jamie discuss the show and his character, Maxwell Klinger.
You're also involved with one of the unbreakable records of all time, the MASH series finale, still the highest rated TV show. All these years later, it still holds up. What made that show so special?
I think the fact that a lot of people love the stories and they love the characters. Our characters were very complete. I could be a character, the character that I played, of course, was absolutely silly, it was like burlesque, but then there were some real moments that you saw that came from the character. I can't tell you how many people quote lines that I said that were very serious lines, like the one with David Ogden Stiers where at Christmas time the person should remain anonymous, you know, for things. Or, when they find the ring that Loretta Major Houlihan, and she was upset, and then they said, well, the least you could do is know that, you know, we cared or something like that. The characters were so complete, and the most wonderful actors and writers that we had. And again, it happened, the reason why the Mud Hens are in there is because a couple of our writers had grown up in an area where the Mud Hens had played. And because Klinger's character was such a crazy, you know, bizarre thing, that a team called the Mud Hens, you know, it's not the Panthers or the Lions or the Tigers or something, it's the Mud Hens. They said that's got to be his favorite baseball. So it was Gene Cook, I think, that sent some of the things to us, and we decided to use it in the show. And then Harry Morgan, Colonel Potter, began wearing the Mud Hens outfit, and my license plate that I had originally was Mud Hens on it. And as a matter of fact, I play over here, I used to, I don't play golf anymore, I haven't been able to, where Calabasas Country Club is, and we used to have the Mud Hens out there, and I'd see them out there in the thing. I said, okay, everybody, you got to get back to Toledo for spring training. Gene Reynolds, who was our producer, was born in Cleveland, Ohio, and he came to Hollywood, and he was actually a child star actor like Mickey Rooney was, and it was at MGM and that, and he remembered the Toledo. And Larry Gelbart, who created my character, and he named me after his childhood friend Klinger, and he made me Lebanese because I was Lebanese, but because when Larry was a youngster and was trying to get into show business, Larry came from Chicago with his dad, and he was going to the Jewish high school here, Fairfax, and Harry Gelbart was the barber in Beverly Hills to all of the comedians. And so Larry would give him, you know, jokes to sell to everybody, and the only one that bought from him, the first one that bought from him was Danny Thomas. So he's, to pay back Danny, you know, he made me the Lebanese character, and of course Klinger was his childhood buddy from Chicago. And the way the character came about was Larry read somewhere that Lenny Bruce, who was in the Coast Guard, they would have the dress of the day, and it'd either be your fatigues or Class A's. Well, Lenny Bruce, as a joke, showed up wearing a dress, and Larry read that, and he said, "That's a funny bit." Of course, I think Lenny wound up in the stockade for a little bit, the brigade or whatever. I forgot what they call it, the brig, I guess. Yeah, and so forth. But I wound up being on a show for 11 years and enjoying all of the wonderful things that you get from being on a hit show like that. The writing was so good, just absolutely wonderful writing, and of course all of the actors and actresses were just terrific. Harry Morgan, who'd been in the business for years, said, and worked with Spencer Tracy, Frederick March, all the people, he said, this is the greatest thing that ever, and Dragnet, that he said this show was the best quality that he had ever been on. And what a compliment to come from somebody who had the experience that he had.